Okay, so folks, let me tell you a little story. So I logged on to youtube.com, checked my subscriptions. I know. Bear with me. I check my subscriptions and I see a video with a very interesting title. Okay, so this is from a one secular talk on youtube.com. So he releases a 30-minute video. I just want to be very clear here. So Kyle Kulinski uploads a 30-minute video with this title: Kyle censored by Spotify, 2018 Rogan appearance pulled. Okay, so I'm thinking, okay, this is going to be very entertaining. This is going to be extremely entertaining. This is going to be great. This is going to be so fun to watch. I can kill a whole evening just entertaining myself with this. So again, we all know Joe Rogan's been getting owned pretty epic style lately. He's been getting owned pretty, like he's getting owned, folks. He's not having a great time. And so we also know that Kyle Kulinski is also a huge fanboy of Joe Rogan, which I find I find it weird. Now, again, I just want to be very clear on my stance on Joe Rogan. He's said a lot of horrible things. He's done a lot of horrible things. Yes, I am more concerned, and by more concerned, I mean like 99% of my concern is based on his COVID disinformation. I don't really care about his stupid ass fucking cringe stories from 10 years ago. I don't give a shit. Okay, I'm just being very honest with y'all. I don't care that he was singing stupid lyrics from a stupid song. I don't care. That's irrelevant to me. 100%. Okay, the COVID disinformation actually a problem, but again, I don't care about Joe Rogan. If this is like a Son of Sam thing, or if it's like you get him on whatever you can get him on, and it has the net like positive, I'm all good with that. Whatever. But anyway, so Kyle Kulinski made this long ass video here, and I'm not gonna play the whole thing. It's too much. He made this long ass video here. And again, the video is hilarious. But I'm gonna play a little bit of it. I'm gonna play like a little, just a tidbit of it. I'm gonna play it at max speed until we get it. So he presents a conspiracy as to why his appearance on Joe Rogan was pulled. That is so outlandish and so hilarious, especially when the answer was right in his face the whole time. This is just really funny. It's just really funny. Okay. So again, Joe Rogan has been getting owned epic style. So what he did recently is he announced he did this apology bullshit, and said he pulled every video where he's ever used the N-word, and so and that includes saying quotes and reciting lyrics to songs he likes, whatever. Okay, so and it just so happened, by the way, I'm burying the lead here, so that is one of the Kyle Kulinski videos, as he quotes a song here. Okay, but Kyle Kulinski says in this video that it's not, right? He presents a 30-minute long elaborate conspiracy theory as to why his appearance with Joe Rogan was pulled, and it's hilarious. So we just gotta watch this. Okay, so let's check this out.
So the saga of Joe Rogan continues. We are now on day number 746 straight of continuing to talk about Joe Rogan. He's dominating the national dialogue to the point where people in my life who aren't really politically involved and aren't really online too much are texting me about it. My mom texted me something about what's going on with Joe Rogan. So in order to give you the new update, which by the way includes yours truly very directly, let me go ahead and yet again rehash the backstory so you can see.
So again, I just want to be very clear here. This is hilarious. This is really funny. Again, I'm playing it at 2x speed because I don't want to just sit here and watch the whole video. But it is very funny. So again, originally, he goes on Twitter, and types this out. So again, this is the first incarnation of this conspiracy theory. My 2018 Joe Rogan appearance was censored by Spotify. Now again, Joe Rogan publicly said that he was the one who authorized Spotify to pull these videos. He gave them a list or whatever. So Joe Rogan did this. Spotify did not do this. Joe Rogan went out and in his video said that he is the one who did this. Okay, so again, this is really great. My 2018 Joe Rogan appearance was censored by Spotify. He didn't use any racial slurs in the episode. Now again, that's not true. He did. Now, again, you can make the argument whenever he was quoting a rap song. I don't care personally. That's just not. That's not my lane. I don't care about talking about it at all. Right? But he did. He did quote a song. Now, does that make him racist? Whatever. Right? But again, he did do that. So again, the foundation of this conspiracy theory is like just like not acknowledging what the real answer is and baking that into it because it's really great. I railed against Saudi Arabia in it, and Spotify just happened to expand into the Saudi market at the exact time that coincides with the banning, right? And so again, and then he's posting these New York Post articles. So he posts this, and everyone responds with, no, Kyle, Saudi Arabia wasn't involved in some conspiracy to remove your podcast episode. Joe Rogan made the decision to remove the episode, not Spotify, and Rogan chose to do so because he did use a racial slur. Now, again, he was quoting a song, whatever, I don't care. But again, Joe Rogan, this was debunked instantly. This was debunked instantly. But again, Kyle Kulinski's like a boomer, right? He posts this and then doesn't use Twitter for 24 hours. And then Crystal Ball is subtweeting about it and how it's Crystal Ball, by the way, who follows me, Crystal, when are you gonna come on Above It All? What do I do about it? I don't know why she follows me. We've never communicated. I don't know, but anyway, she's got a very interesting opinion on this. Okay, so then Secular Talk uploads the video. So again, the video was presumably done on a show or whatever before he saw the debunk, but this video is 30 minutes long. And again, it's just really hilarious because the answer is right in front of you the whole time. So I just want to play this again. It's just really funny. This guy is working himself into a tizzy. Uploaded a 30-minute rant that makes him the main character of some elaborate conspiracy, and it's great.
We got to where we are now. So it all started when Joe Rogan had on Dr. Malone and Dr. McCullough. These are two anti-vaccine doctors who, listen, I'm no fan of them at all, and I actually think it's fair to say they spread vaccine misinformation. They take little bits and pieces of data.
Right,
great job going point for point. Agree with full decision for Spotify information. Person on, so it was like a half apology. And Bruce Springsteen's guitar.
He's just recapping. Okay, so he just plays the Joe Rogan video. So he plays the video
when covering stories about.
Right now, he plays this video, which is great because that's the video I believe where Joe Rogan says yeah, he did this, right? So again, it's so fucking funny to me. It really is. This is hilarious. So again, let's just see.
I had the exact same policy. Where if you're
okay, so now he's talking about he's a huge fan of the N-word. Okay.
About my mom texted me, my neighbor texted me for them, and it's always not accurate. But it written is working. So in response to this, now this is where it really takes a bizarre turn. So at the same time that this scandal's going on, Spotify removed, as of the recording of this right now, Spotify has removed 113 episodes of the Joe Rogan Experience. Now, the normie perception of this, and the perception, even CNN, they said this on air, and it's not true. The normie perception is, oh, they're just pulling down the episodes where he uses racial slurs. That is not true. There were.
So again, he is baking into this video that there's an elaborate conspiracy where Spotify is systematically censoring him because of his statements on Saudi Arabia. It's not because he didn't, he used racial slurs. Now again, we can have this discussion about whether or not quoting a song is being racist. Personally, I don't care. I think that's dumb. I'm more concerned with the COVID disinformation. But that is what happened. You can follow the logic, and it was very public logic. Joe Rogan said it publicly that it was his decision. He gave them a list, right? So again, it's just really funny. And the other part about this, right? The other part about this that is also extremely funny, right? An extremely funny aspect to this is that Kyle Kulinski is he claims that Joe Rogan is his friend or whatever. Apparently, the idea never crossed his head or apparently their relationship isn't good enough. Why didn't Kyle just text Joe Rogan and say, hey man, I saw your apology and saw that one of our appearances got taken down. What happened? I thought that they were buddies. I'm just saying, right? And again, as of this moment, I just want to be very clear. As of this moment, Kyle, this is his latest tweet here. His latest tweet was 20 hours ago, uploading this elaborate, cringe-filled conspiracy theory. Now, again, I don't hate Kyle Kulinski, right? I have a soft spot for Kyle because I've been watching his videos for fucking 7 years, okay? So I like Kyle Kulinski. Yes, I disagree with him a lot, and I've made several videos on those disagreements. Right? I don't think he's as bad as Jimmy Dore or some of the other people. I think he is genuine, but I also think he's genuinely a little dumb. And I mean that in a good way. He hasn't, he's really good at niche things, right? But most things, also my bandage is falling off. He does not really gain new information. He does not really gain new perspective often, right? He's let's just be honest. He's kind of a boomer. Right, I know. I'm just sorry. Again, I don't want to come across as a hater here, but also he has this main character syndrome, And this is really on display pretty heavily here, and it's hilarious. So again, this is his last tweet. I'm so interested to see what he's gonna say, because there's no way he can just ignore that he fucked up this hard. Like I'm saying, like there's no way he can ignore this. He's gonna have to apologize. And I just want to say, as of this moment, I'm here for it. This is hilarious. So let's keep going.
22 times in the supercut where he said the word, and there are 113 episodes that were pulled. You do the math. Now,
so again, one of the pieces of evidence for this conspiracy theory, and this is a great freeze frame here. One of the pieces of evidence for this conspiracy theory is that there was a supercut that had 22 instances of Joe Rogan utilizing the N-word. Now, as if, like, that supercut was so meticulously crafted where they caught every single appearance ever. And that's in the supercut. That's unlikely. Like, let's be honest. You have 22 examples of Joe Rogan saying the N-word. That's probably pretty good. You can ship that, right? Do you really need to go get the 79 other examples, right? So let's be honest. The idea that is somehow, like, in Kyle's world, right, that's just, like, that's the max. Like, that's the cap. That's as big as it gets, right? Now, again, that's just a little silly. So again, already this conspiracy theory is not, like, it's not really holding up to any basic, like, so like the idea that he published this video is hilarious. It's hilarious to me. So
another misperception is some people might think, well, they're only really taking down the obviously extreme episodes, like, for example, figures like Alex Jones. Maybe he talked about Sandy Hook or something on there, and they want to be associated with that. Or Gavin McInnes, the founder of the Proud Boys, or Owen Benjamin, who's now an openly alt-right loser, or this guy Chuck Johnson, this right-wing writer who argued for, like, literal racism on air, their genetic differences or whatever between the races, or Milo Yiannopoulos, who has a whole other bunch of problems, or Stefan Molyneux. But the fact of the matter is, no. You know who else is on that list? Dan Savage is on that list. Mark Maron. Duncan Trussell, a hippie comedian who's to the left of me. TJ Kirk, the amazing atheist, he's on that ban list. Bill Burr is on that ban list. These are all people whose politics, at the very least, lean left. Some of them are pretty far left. And then you know who else is on that list? Yours truly. I made the list. So I've been on Joe Rogan's show 5 times. 4 of those episodes are still up, at least for now. We'll see what happens as time moves on. But the late 2018 appearance that I did on Joe Rogan's show, after I was at Politicon, and I did some debates, and I was on some panels with some Daily Wire people, and I aggressively questioned Chris Christie, and there was a clip that I debuted on Rogan's show that was that.
So again, now he is now launching into full conspiracy land. Now again, my personal opinion is, I think Joe Rogan's a right-wing show. Like, I'm sorry, it's just that's the case. Yes, he has had ostensibly left-wing people on, but that only, in my opinion, that only legitimizes his program. To more, like, it makes him go like, oh, I have both sides on, bro. But when 90% of your guests are right wing and 10% of your guests are left wing, and of those left wing guests, like, you've got Jimmy Dore on there like 3 times, and like, that's a little bit silly, right? So again, so there's a lot of problems with who he has on the show that's in the left wing category also. But then again, I think that just legitimizes the show. It's a right wing show. Let's be honest.
They pulled down that episode, so the episode number is 1187. And I was trying to figure out, Crystal and I were talking about this for a while, trying to figure out, why on earth did they ban it? How could they ban that? Why would they ban that? What exactly was said in the podcast? Now, thankfully, so there's bits and pieces that are still up on YouTube. By the way, thank you. Credit to YouTube for being less censorious, at least on this front. And there's,
like, again, one of the elaborate conspiracy angles here is that, it's always these companies are shrouded in now again, there is a huge problem with free speech on YouTube, on Spotify, on big tech platforms that, like, we all know that, right? The left is always 99.9% of the time being censored more than the right wing. We already know that. That's all very obvious, okay? But again, like, it makes it more difficult to have these conversations when people like Kyle go around here and say that, like, all the big tech companies are, like, they're, like, operating in the shadows, right? Like, there's, like, they don't really, like, do that, right? Like, they mostly just have algorithms operate all of it and then just, like, kind of just spring off to the algorithm, right? They pretty much have robots do the whole thing. Now, again, who designs these algorithms, right? People that have these biases, right? Who inputs what to ban and what not, into the... So, yes, that part of the conspiracy is correct. But the idea that, like, Spotify is, like, going to look at... Oh, Kyle Kulinski, that's right, that guy, like, they know, first of all, that would imply that they know who Kyle is, they know what he talks about, they know not to like him, and they know to, like, and then also, if that's the logic, why didn't they pull, right? Like, again, it's not, like, it's never a personalized conspiracy here. What they do is they design these algorithms to systematically enforce certain rules on certain people, that talk about certain topics. There is no, we're going to get Kyle. Now, again, sometimes they will ban people in these high-profile cases. Sometimes it's like that. But again, Kyle really, I guess he desperately wants to be that important. And so that's what's kind of fueling this, and it's really funny. But anyway.
And there's also some other like random podcasting outlets that still have it up. So I went back and I listened to the podcast. So here are some of the things we talked about. We, ironically enough, talked about a social media purge that had just happened right before I went on the podcast. There was the Free Thought Project was banned, I think, on Facebook, and then you had Police the Police about that, and we talked about the slippery slope and the problem with that. By the way, in the context of that conversation, one of the points I make was Alex Jones was just the tip of the spear. You know, he was like the test case, and nobody likes Alex Jones getting banned, and whoa, would you look at that. So we talked about that. We talked about legalizing marijuana. We talked about the drug war and drug cartels in Mexico. I went after Donald Trump, pretty aggressive certain issues.
This is like, he is just like engaging in such profound narcissism. And again, this is really funny. But again, we're not even really into the conspiracy part yet. So I'm going to skip ahead a little bit.
Kind of drug addiction. But, it's so like fat shaming, and we don't allow that on here, so we're going to get rid of that.
So right here, he's talking about how, like, they're making fun of Chris Christie's, like, weight or whatever. Which, whatever, if you're against drugs. But yes, I understand the point. You're against weed being legalized, but you're addicted to food. I agree with that point. But again, here we go. We're launching in. This is going to get good.
Maybe that's it, but I think we figured it out. I think in my conversations with Crystal and reading as much as we could about this, we cracked the code and we figured it out. There's a section where we talk about the murder of Jamal Khashoggi, and I give all the relevant details about it that were in the news at the time. And then I really go in hard after Saudi Arabia. And I just talk about how they're doing a genocide in Yemen, and they're bombing mosques and open air markets, and
which is correct, by the way,
civilians, and
like that,
blockading the country, and not allowing food in, and there's starvation, there's famine, there's a cholera epidemic, they're not allowing medicine in. So I really go in hard after Saudi Arabia. And then come to find out, it was just reported by Reuters and the New York Post that very recently Spotify made a deal to expand into Saudi Arabia. It's the beginning of podcasting in Saudi Arabia where they're allowing it. They expanded into Egypt, Russia, and Saudi Arabia. Now,
and Kyle Kulinski is so important, right? Like, that he's been systematically targeted in this fashion. Again, are you going to go do any research at all? Are you going to do any, did you find any other, usually if you're going to present this conspiracy, right, you'd want to find, a pattern. Oh, they're pulling down critical content of the Saudi Arabian war crimes and regime and stuff like that. You'd want to establish a pattern. There's only one entry. There's only one data entry. And that's him. That's it. So again, on its face, there is no evidence here at all for this, right? That's why it's so funny, is that he is so sure of himself, and there's even the evidence that he's presenting, right? Let's just say, oh, my apologies, I'm drinking seltzer here. By the way, love seltzer, huge fan. But anyway, let's assume that Joe Rogan did not actually use the N-word in this video. Let's assume that the answer wasn't actually that obvious, right? Again, that's actually the case here. But let's even just assume that it was actually kind of vague, and there's really it really is just speculation. This is a solved case. This is not speculation, but let's assume it were speculation. Even then, to establish this as a theory that you're going to present a 30-minute video on, even then, there is no pattern. You'd want to establish a pattern. Find other podcasts that were censored for talking about Saudi Arabia. At least one. Establish a pattern, right? At least, come on. But again, so that's why this is so great. But
I don't know if you guys know about how these things work internationally. But you don't just...
And now again, the way the presentation here is I don't know if y'all know how this works. So I'm going to explain something I am so entirely wrong about. It's just
Egypt, Russia, and Saudi Arabia. Now, I don't know if you guys know about how these things work internationally. But you don't just go into a country like Saudi Arabia willy-nilly and free of your own volition and say, we want to have our platform there. No, you need approval, son. You need approval from the Saudi government in order to get your product in Saudi Arabia, because it's an authoritarian theocracy. And so, without a doubt, there's no doubt that Spotify had conversations with the Saudi government.
Now that I agree with, yes. Obviously, they had a conversation. Yes. Yes, Spotify and Saudi Arabia's governmental apparatus spoke. That's correct?
Also have no doubt that Saudi Arabia had terms for the deal. hey, you want to come in here? That's fine. Here are the ground rules. Here are some things that are no-go zones that we don't like being talked about if you're going to be allowed in this country. There's really no criticism, certainly no vociferous criticism of our government if your platform's going to come in here. Now, look, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's just a coincidence.
I love it. This is the best part. Like, that's another very good freeze frame. In fact, I'm going to take a screenshot of that one. But anyway, that's really funny. Maybe he's wrong. Maybe he's wrong. It's possible that he's wrong. He's opening the door for that possibility. He might be wrong.
Happen to align with the expansion into Saudi Arabia, and the podcast where I criticize Saudi Arabia viciously gets pulled down. Maybe it was a mistake and my podcast was accidentally pulled down and it wasn't supposed to be pulled down. Maybe eventually it'll be brought back up. I don't know, but we're not getting any answers. And Spotify...
Now again, if Kyle were to have gone on Twitter and have said this, right, and then like gotten the reply that's like, yeah, actually, no, that didn't... Instead, he kept this conspiracy to himself, made a tweet as he was recording the show, right? And then published the video, and so it's like, he kept it to himself, had no fact checking, and it was like, and this is like, it's great. It's just really funny. It's just, again, maybe he's wrong. It's possible.
Needs to release a statement on this and explain why my podcast and Duncan Trussell and Bill Burr and TJ Kirk and a bunch of lefties were banned. It's not because he said racial slurs in the episode.
And again, he's also saying the lefties were banned, or the podcast was banned. Like, that's not a proper, like, removed. It would be like Kyle Kulinski as a person is not banned from Spotify, right?
It didn't say any racial slurs in the episode. There's a transcript of the podcast. Now, admittedly, it's a bad transcript because it's like AI generated and it's like a lot of stuff is off. But I know for sure there was no use of any racial slurs. I was there. And
so again, he's wrong. Like, I mean, it's all good. Like, again, like I agree with the idea that it's dumb to like really make a huge stink about quoting a song lyric and removing a whole show based on that. Like, why not just like remove that like 3-second snippet? That would be a little bit more logical, but that's, whatever. But anyway, he was wrong. Whoops. 30-minute segment. So far, like, again, the reason why I'm making this video is because I find it hilarious, and two, there has been no update. There's been no tweets at all, no message from Kyle in 20 hours. No one has heard from him. He is a missing person as of this moment. We don't know. Like, so he like he told us he could be wrong. It's very possible. And it's so possible that it turns out that he was in fact wrong. But anyway, this is going to be a fun saga to see the update on tomorrow. And so I'm just giving you all the scoop here. So this is Kyle Kulinski giving us the scoop, and it's not that great of a scoop. So I'm giving you that scoop on the bad scoop. So there you go. Anyway, folks, that's the show. Thank you all for watching.